I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review and installation of the Rugged Ridge ORV Stabilizer fitting all 2007 and up Wranglers. Today we're going to talk through the installation of this steering stabilizer, which is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench install. This is going to bolt directly in place of your factory steering stabilizer and shouldn't take you more than an hour to complete the installation, but we'll talk more about that in just a second. We're also going to talk about the construction and a few of the features of this stabilizer. You should be looking for a new steering stabilizer, or more accurately, a steering dampener, if yours is bent, broken, or leaking. If you are looking to replace your factory stabilizer and going with one that is aftermarket, I think this is going to be a really nice choice for you because it's affordably priced and it's going to be pretty well built. Now, it's important to understand what a steering dampener does and, more importantly, what it does not do. A steering dampener is there so that especially when you have large, heavy tires on your Jeep, you're driving down the road and you hit a bump, that it sucks up some of that shock that you might otherwise feel transferred up through your steering linkage and into the steering wheel. That's all it does. If you have a properly set up suspension, a steering dampener is a luxury and not a necessity. This is not a part that you need to run on your Jeep. And it's certainly not a part that you need to upgrade or spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on just because you have big tires on your Jeep. If you have some sort of poor handling or poor suspension geometry that's causing bump steer, a wobble, certainly a death wobble, a steering stabilizer is not a solution to that problem. There are ways to diagnose and fix that problem. If you just throw a steering stabilizer at that issue, you're going to cover it up for a short period of time, but then you're just going to blow out your brand new steering stabilizer and still have the same issue. So, if you have a wobble, if you have one of those issues, diagnose it, fix it first, and then if you have a broken or leaking stabilizer, go ahead and replace it. If you're going to replace it, I think this is going to be a pretty good option for you because this is a hydraulic stabilizer, which I much prefer over a nitrogen stabilizer. A stabilizer with a nitrogen charge will constantly be pushing your steering wheel to one side. It can actually cause the Jeep to drift a little bit in the lane, almost feeling like you have a bad alignment. So I definitely don't like the nitro charged ones. This is a nice hydraulic charge, and it's just very simple. A steering dampener is nothing more than a 50-50 valve hydraulic shock. That's what this is, and this one is appropriately priced. This stabilizer is DOM tubing. It has a polished piston, comes with some white paint on it, so it looks nice, fresh and clean. It has a shock boot. As I said before, it's just a 50-50 valve shock. There's nothing fancy about this, and that's okay. This is all you need for a steering dampener, even if you have big tires on your Jeep. Getting this installed on your Jeep is going to be very, very simple. All you'll need to do is remove your factory stabilizer and put this one in its place. You're going to have a couple of nuts that you'll need to remove to get that factory stabilizer out of there, and the factory stabilizer can be a little bit stuck in its spot, so you might have to persuade it a little bit with a mallet. However, once you have that popped off, replace the new one with the factory hardware and you're done. This is going to be a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench install that shouldn't take you more than an hour. As I said before, I think this stabilizer is appropriately priced. At a little over 60 bucks, you're gonna get something that is quality, it's gonna hold up, it's gonna do its job, and it's not crazy overpriced. There are stabilizers out there that are $350, and they are not going to do any better job at being a steering stabilizer than this one is. So if you have a bent, broken, or otherwise leaking steering stabilizer, you don't want to go back to the dealership to get a factory replacement, I think this one's going to be affordably priced and it's going to get the job done. So that's my review of the Rugged Ridge ORV Stabilizer fitting all 2007 and up JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.